Angela with Infectious Magazine, here with Stephen Christian of Anchor Braille. How are you?
Very, very good, thanks.
Now, when we interviewed you back in 2009, you had talked about the nerves associated with going on the road at that time for the first time with Anchor and Braille, and the fear that, if you messed up, it would be a lot more noticeable.
Right.
So having been a few years, are you still feeling those nerves, or are you feeling a little bit better?
I think I'm feeling a little bit better at this point in the tour because we're like day 7, day 8,
Yeah.
but in the beginning, there would be moments where I would just stop playing like guitar, piano, because I was like, I have no idea if I'm even hitting the right chords. So the next night during sound check, I would try to run over that song because I was like, I'm completely gonna just kill this. The cool thing is, back then, it was only me and Micah that were kind of playing live. It was just two, and we would be joined by random people during the set. But tonight, and on this tour, we have like a drummer and a bass player that tour with us. So it's cool to have like a full band, and it feels really good to be show number 6, 7, where or 8, like that we're comfortable in our skin and we're comfortable with these songs.
That was what I was going to ask as well, is about that transition to having more members, and if that was just sort of something that naturally happened, or if it was a conscious decision.
Well, it's a conscious decision because anybody that records the record wants to be able to pull off what they do on the record live. I mean, that's kind of the goal, is to create a record that you can go around and tour these songs. And so we felt it only natural to have a bass player and a drummer, because all these songs, a lot of the songs on the new record are pretty upbeat, and so it just feels kind of like, well, if it was just an acoustic guitar and a piano, it would kind of feel a little bit dull or not even close to the record. So we wanted to try to pull that off.
You're answering all my questions before I even asked them.
I'm sorry. I will
just
just answer yes or no.
No. Because I was going to ask that as well. I was going to say, I've been a fan since 2009, and I felt that they were a lot more acoustic and just very smooth, and that these were a lot more upbeat and same kind of thing. What was that decision, or was it just well, this is the music I feel like making at this time, or did you specifically want it to be more?
Well, I did. I think the reason that felt is so slow and kind of melodic and melancholy was the fact that I was trying to create an antithesis, or the complete opposite of Anberlin. I wanted something that was just brought down to just a basic piano and just very soothing and mild, because I felt like I already had enough of one extreme, and so I was trying to completely rebel against that sound and go the opposite way with orchestra and French horn and lighter percussions. And now I've kind of feel like Anchor Braille's kind of come to its own, where I don't so much feel the need to rebel against that other sound, but kind of exactly where I'm at in life, where I can draw from inspirations, I can kind of free to create whatever type of music that I just feel like writing at the moment.
It's very exciting.
It is. It really is.
Now, you had said, again, back in that interview in 2009, that with Felt you had added a lot of various harmonies that you had to really listen for in the headphones or background music. So have you done that with the Quiet Life?
Well, can you rephrase the question? Just basically adding more harmonies than...
Yeah, so that you had said that you had to specifically listen. There were certain things that you would only notice if you were really, really listening.
Right. No, so we try to maintain that again during the Quiet Life. I felt like that almost ambionic background noise, or that's something that you only pick up the second or third time that you listen to it. It's much more intriguing instead of just a straightforward song that nothing changes. I just felt like, what if I completely introduce a new instrument here, or if I completely change the song, in the middle of it. I felt like that was kind of what has almost the excitement, almost the anticipation, or you keep listening because everything is interesting. It just doesn't blend together. It's not just same old, and so I definitely try to continue that.
That's awesome. Now, we had just finished covering Warped Tour, and Band Happy was there, which I'm not sure. Are you familiar?
I'm not.
Okay.
Band Happy?
Yeah.
That's a band?
No. It's sort of I don't want to call it a program, but a company, and it's a really cool concept. They have a lot of musicians that are on the tour that you can take lessons from them. So if you're a fan, you can go. Yeah, it's incredible.
That's incredible.
Right. I know, it's great, isn't it?
Yes.
So I wanted to know, I'm sure that you have a lot of fans with both Anchor Braille and Anberlin, and have you ever thought of doing something similar to that on one of your tours?
Just giving away free time.
Whether it's giving away, or towards, I know you're big with charity, so whether it's putting the money towards charity, so that people could learn.
I would teach vocal lessons, and then the money would go to donate to charity.
Right. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Absolutely, that would be incredible. I think, right now we're working with an organization called Downtime. So on our breaks or on off days or even before the show starts, like we'll end up at different like events, like whether it be Special Olympics. We've done a lot with Habitat for Humanity, stuff like that. Just a lot of like cancer, children's hospitals and stuff like that. For us, is just massive. So anything we can do, stuff like that. If it goes to charity, like I'm all in. That'd be fun to give.
Get on it.
Lesson.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be
Absolutely.
well received as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to do that.
And then on Band Happy's website, they ask if you could take a music lesson from any musician or vocalist, who would it be? So I want to ask the same of you.
Well, I'm a subpar guitar player, so I think I would love to get a lesson from Johnny Marr. He did the Smiths. He's also a Modest Mouse. I mean, just an incredible guitarist, and he has just probably the best right hand rhythmically in the entire that I've ever seen. So I think he's absolutely tasteful, and I would actually just want to meet him, but under the guise of, can I get a lesson?
You can trick him into it.
Yeah, basically. Like, I really am not paying attention to your guitar. I'm just starstruck. This is awesome.
I like that you can still get like that.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. I think him or Morrissey or Paul McCartney. I think there's a couple people I'm definitely like, oh my goodness, that would be awesome.
How do you feel about the idea that music and musicians are raising this generation, and what does that mean for the pressures placed on you?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was helping out a friend in Albuquerque with his radio station. I was like, for a few days I was filling in on the morning show, and they would like contact like, bands and stuff like that. Well, I had interviewed this band that was straight from my childhood, like grunge days, and so it was crazy that when I looked at his Wikipedia page, because it had been so many years, when I looked at his Wikipedia page and I went down and scrolled through, I could sing every song. You know what I'm saying? Like I could, and that's crazy that I was probably, 11, 12, and when I would listen to that over and over, and the fact that I still remember every word on that entire record blew my mind. I was like, oh, that is a lot of pressure, So I do think that even on stage and off stage, I think that, everybody in a band should be responsible. I think the biggest problem is that when you get this little sense of fleeting fame, that suddenly like you feel like you're suddenly immortal and you're going to go and ruin the world and have your way and all this stuff. And that, and I don't think that people kind of like view this as like, you have to live with your actions as somebody in a band for the rest of your life. So if you had a one-hit wonder and suddenly you're this mega star and everybody loved you, you could be gone in 2 years, but those decisions that you made in those 2 years of your life are going to last forever, Whether that is negative or positive, it lasts forever. I mean, you have to sleep with those memories for the rest of your life. So, when someday you have great-grandchildren or grandchildren and you go, please don't ever get near a rock star. It's your own fault, because you're the one who made bad decisions back then. And so it's just one of those things that I feel like more people should become responsible with what's been given to them.
Was there a specific point where you realized that your actions were having an influence on other people?
No, I don't remember like one point where it was just kind of like, oh wow, people actually listen. But there was a point like after Never Take Friendship Personal where I felt like the roads were diverging in the woods, where I could become cocky rock star or I could just become a human. You know what I'm saying? It was just right there. And so I called my best friend. His name's Seth Kane. He's an incredible guy. And I was like, listen, I can't pay you. We're in a van. We're not making any money. But would you just come and just hang out? Just be around. Because I know that he knew everything about me. So there's no way I could get cocky. Well, anyway, the whole band loved him. He turned into our tour manager. And for like the next 3.5, 4 years, he was there every day. And so the fact that I could never get away from him, I could never be anything but human with him around, was probably one of the best decisions. I think he is the reason that Anberlin and Anchor Braille still here today, is because I know if I made the wrong decisions that who knows where I would be. So it was one of those moments in life where I had to decide, am I going to live for myself or am I going to live for other people? And so calling my best friend was probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
It's amazing that you were aware enough of it at that point to realize that needed to happen.
Well, every musician is going to face it. I don't care if you're a local hero or you're, the biggest band in the world. In whatever spectrum that you are as an entertainer, it doesn't have to be, musician. It could be actor, actress, artist, dance, whatever the case may be. You're going to come to a crossroads in your life, and it's whether you recognize it or not. you're there, you're still at that crossroads, and you make little decisions here and there that kind of like push you on one way or the other.
It's very, very true. And then I just have a couple of closer questions for you. The first is, if you could give yourself one piece of advice 10 years ago, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Just one? Man, I think 10 years ago, right now, the biggest thing I would tell myself is to invest all my money, whatever 50 cents I had, into Apple Computer, because now they're massive and I'd probably be rich and then I could just ride around in my own bus. I don't know. 10 years ago, that's a really hard question. Probably take guitar lessons, because now I'm suffering through playing 5 chords or 4 chords live, and I think back then it would have, I had a lot less activities in my life to deal with. So I think guitar lessons would probably be the biggest thing. I could find somebody to make me happy.
And now I've heard that you're a fan of the perks of being a Wallflower.
Yes, absolutely.
So have you seen the trailer? How are you feeling?
See, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, holding my breath, because another one of my favorite books, Veronica Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho, was so bad that I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to kind of wait in the background. See, Blue Like Jazz, I heard was really good. I never got to see it, but I heard it was great. So it's kind of one of those things that's just going to be a toss-up.
Are you going to see it though?
I'm going to see it, but I have no expectations for it, because it's just kind of like in my head, I already have all the scenes, like I had those best friends in high school. Like I know Sam, like I know her,
Yeah.
like, right now she lives in like Chile or something like that. My best friend from high school, like, and so for me, it's just kind of like, I already know what my storyline in my movie looks like, and so this is kind of just like, I'll see whatever somebody else's interpretation of it, but I don't know, I'm so nervous.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I keep rereading the book, but it's hard. I mean, I feel kind of bad for them because they have a lot to live up to.
They do, they really do. Yeah.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
Man, I think my favorite childhood memory was in St. Joseph, Michigan, on a street. We lived on a street called Ridge Road, and in the back of my parents' yard was this like slope, just this crazy slope down into this forest, and there's this big clearing, and then it turned into forest. Probably like 150 yards into the forest, and so Christmas time, all my relatives, and I'm talking like we have this massive German family, and then my American family. So we would all come together, like hot chocolate and s'mores and all that stuff, and we would just build like little ramps, and we'd all go sledding in my backyard. And that's probably like some of my greatest memories, growing up in St. Joseph, Michigan, just living at that house, and that kind of that time of like just innocence, and the greatest thing to you is your family, and marshmallows and fireplaces and stuff like that. But that's definitely the one that kind of stands out.
But see, that goes right back to first being a Wallflower too, though. That's like everything
It's
in that
true.
book. It's so
Very
so
true.
great. When you were in high school, did you have a senior prank, and what was it?
I didn't have a senior prank, but I had literally no school spirit. Like I
That's what I
hated
was.
high school. I hated everything about it. I hated the football team. I hated pep rallies. Were literally like, I had the biggest aversion. I swear I broke out in hives. So my class was going to do class pictures, and I told my teacher, Mrs. Frank, I was like, please don't make me go do pictures. I don't want to do it. Can I just sit in here? And she's just like, no, you have to go, because one day you'll look back and just regret this, like, oh, I can't believe I didn't do a senior picture. You have to go. So I left. And so I went and I sat up top, to, and everybody was taking pictures. I sat as far up left as I possibly could. And when he said 3, 2, 1, I went like this. But the principal thought I was using another gesture,
Yeah.
And so he was just like, you get out of here. You will not be in this class picture. And I was like,
Yes.
no. And so I was leaving, everybody's, like, oh, I can't believe you're, whatever. So I went back to Miss Frank, and I was like, I don't know why they kicked me out. I was just doing this, like, God, just whatever. But to this day, I still don't regret not having my picture in my yearbook. I could care less about high school and that whole era. So
Go back and tell Miss Frank.
yeah, I'll tell Miss Frank, I do not regret this. If she's still alive.
What's that thought? And then what are some unsigned bands you'd like our readers to check out?
We are on tour with a silent film right now, and they are mind-blowing. It's so good. I really enjoy them. I also got to work with a Greek Fire of St. Louis. We just sang on one of their songs, and I enjoy it. I mean, they're some of the most musically talented dudes in the world. So, but right now, silent film is just blowing my mind.
Yeah, I was checking Anchor Braille's Facebook before, while I was preparing, and I was seeing that it seemed like there was a lot of. Have you guys had time off tour to sort of? Have you been keeping yourselves busy?
Well, just seeing the country. Like, I've never been to Cape Cod, so yesterday we spent some time in Cape Cod, and just I'm just camping. Saying like all the off days, we go to campsites and set up tents, and I don't ever get a chance to do this. So we can go where we want to go, and so it's been a lot of fun. Like yesterday, just played bocce ball on the beach, and then that night we made hot dogs, and that was it. So it's been really fun. Very relaxing.
Has there been s'mores?
There actually literally has.
Good.
Yes.
Because that's what makes a camp. Really.
It is.
True.
It's true.
What's on the horizon once this tour concludes? I've seen a lot of fans asking you to come to Australia.
Yeah. Yes. So right after this, Anberlin, it looks like, is going to be taken off to Brazil, and then Australia, then the UK, supposedly. All this is kind of up in the air, but that's supposedly, that we've penciled that in. And then November, we start on a US tour. That goes through probably around December 16th. And then January, Anchor Braille goes back out, hopefully West Coast. And then February, we'll do another US tour. And then from there, I have no idea.
Relax.
I sincerely doubt that. I don't know really the meaning of that word. So.
And then is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you. This has been really great. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Very nice to meet you
Yours
again.
well.